What's going on, y'all? I'm Czar, and in this video we're going to go over my process for using saturation for adding air and presence to vocals instead of an EQ, and we're going to look at why you may want to do this, as well as 3 saturation plugins I like to use for this. Of course, I've got a link in the description for every plugin I'll be using in this video, as well as I have some links for the hardware that I'll talk about as well, because we're going to go over the vocal chain used for this vocal, which a little bit leads to why I want to use saturation on here. All right, let's get right into this. I'm going to play the vocal without any effects. I do have a little bit of reverb and delay on it, but as far as EQ, compression, all of that, as far as on the vocal, it's completely, everything's bypassed at this point. Let's take a listen.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer. When are we gonna act outrageous? As to time we start behaving. Your love is what I've been craving still.
All right, so we got a really good recording of this vocal. I don't hear any frequencies I want to cut, which is a good thing. Let's talk about the vocal chain used here. The mic preamp was the Empirical Labs Mic E, which is one of my favorite channel strips for vocals. This does have a compressor saturator circuit, but I wasn't using it. I was just using the preamp. I was bypassing the compression and the saturation. The preamp on the Mic E is really clean. The mic that I used was a Vanguard's V13, which is their large diaphragm condenser tube microphone. Very nice little high end on that. It's not a overly bright microphone, which I really like. You get some of that tube warmth with it being a tube mic. But for this, I'm going to want to add just a little bit of air on top. Now, the low mids, great. I don't hear, like I said, anything I want to cut. As far as compression wise, there is a few parts in this vocal I feel needs to be smoothed out. So we're going to start with that. Actually, let's start with the Studio One Pro EQ. I'm just going to add a high pass filter at 85 Hertz there on that. And then next, we're going to use the new Sonable Learn compressor. This is just to smooth out the vocal. We'll bring this in and you'll see that I'm just doing 3 to 4 dB compression, nothing crazy.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer.
All right, so now we got the vocal smoothed out. Everything's a nice, good, consistent level. And now we're going to begin to add our saturation. So what you're going to need for this is a multi-band saturator. And this is because we want to add saturation just to the highs and high mids, not the whole signal. So the first one we're going to look at is the quad saturator. Now this is new in IK Multimedia's T-Rack 6 multi-band saturator. We've got 4 bands. Quick overview of the controls here. A, B, C, D, E. These are all different colors of saturation and harmonic distortion. Each time you step up, you're getting a more colored sound. So again, I just want to add a little bit here. So you can see I'm just driving this just a little bit in the high mids, just a little bit in the highs. I have A, which is the lowest setting for the saturation, and then B on the highs. Let's bring this in and take a listen.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer.
All right, so we're getting what I want from the saturation. We're adding some energy and excitement there to the high end, but it's starting to get a little S'y. We can hear those S's poking out some. So at the very end of this chain, there's a couple things you can do. You can use just a standard compressor, which I have the Studio One compressor here. I've got the filter up to 2K, which means that it's going to compress anything above 2K. I want it to compress just the high end. So with that on, let's take a listen to that.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer. When are we gonna act outrageous? As to time we start behaving. Your love is what I've been craving still.
All right, now that's one thing that you can do. You can hear that high end is more controlled now. The other thing you can do is use a de-esser, which I'm using the Sonable Smart de-esser, and I've got this set to split band because I'm just compressing 2.5 up to 12.5, and we can, of course, select this and change that. We can go up to 18K. I think we can go all the way up to 20 probably. Okay, 18K is the highest. So let's do that. 2.5 to 18K is where we want to focus this de-esser and just control that high end. And this is what it sounds like with it.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer. When are we gonna act outrageous? Past due time we start behaving. Your love is what I've been craving still.
All right, and just to remember, let's bypass the saturation. This is without any saturation.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer.
All right, let's move on to our next saturation plugin, which is one that I've been using for a long time. That's Waves Vitamin Multiband Saturator. I've got turned up a little bit in the high mids, a little bit more in the highs, and here you can adjust the bands. So just to make sure, yep, we're at about 2.5K is fine. So we're just adding saturation to 2.5K and up, and this is with Waves Vitamin.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer. When are we gonna act outrageous? Past due time we start behaving. Your love is what I've been craving still.
All right, one difference here with the Vitamin versus like the Quad Saturator, we don't have the option of those different colors of saturation. This is just basically one style of saturation you can add with Waves Vitamin, but I really like the sound and it has worked well for me for many years. Next one we have is the Platoon Studio Swiss Saturator. Multi-band saturation. We have 3 bands instead of 4 with this one, but what I really like about this one is it has a mix knob for each band, which is really nice because now we can do a little bit of parallel between those bands. That's not a feature that you have with the Quad Saturator or Waves Vitamin. So with this, we also have tri-band, which is the 3 bands, or we can have, if we take that off, now it's just going to saturate the whole signal, which again, I don't want. We just want to add saturation to the highs and the high mids. We have a hard cut and a soft cut, which I'll go over that. For this vocal, I'm going to like the hard cut, and I'll show you why in just a second. As far as our crossovers, we want to get around 2K here for the high mids, and then maybe around 8K and up for the highs. And again, we're just doing a little bit. I've got the fatness turned to 25 on the high mids, fatness up to 50 on the highs, where the fatness is going to be the color of the harmonics, and then drive is going to be how much you're going to drive it. So, and again, you see 2 and 4, I'm driving it just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way with saturation. And I don't have the mix set to 100. I've got it set to 50 for both bands. Let's bring in the Swiss Saturator and take a listen. And this is with let's start with the soft cut.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer. When are we gonna act outrageous? Past due time we start behaving. Your love is what I've been craving still.
All right, that was with the soft cut. Now let's add a hard cut, which is going to be more aggressive filters. Now let's take a listen.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you.
right, so you can hear with that hard cut, we're now rolling off more of the high end, making the vocal a little warmer, just a little bit darker, not as much brightness. I'm going to flip between the two so you can hear the immediate difference. We'll start back with the soft cut.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer. When are we gonna act outrageous? As to time we start behaving.
All right. And I think I said that I was going to go with the hard cut. I meant soft cut. And soft cut is a softer roll off, and it's going to allow more of that high end to come through, which the point of this is to add presence and air to the vocal. So I don't want to roll off too much of that high end with the hard cut. And again, we're following that at the end of the chain here with the smart de-esser, or like I said, you can use any de-esser or compressor as long as you can adjust that filter. So you can just add some gentle compression to the high end just to keep that controlled. So now let's compare these saturation to just using a high shelf if I just wanted to boost high end with the EQ and not use saturation. So let's go back to the Pro EQ from Studio One. We're going to add a high shelf at a couple dB. We got 4 dB boost here at 11K. Let's go ahead and bring that down to about 3K is fine. All right, let's take a listen to this, and then we'll take a listen again with the saturation instead. So this is with a high shelf.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer.
All right, and with the saturation.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer.
Waves Vitamin.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer.
And Swiss Saturator.
You know just as well as me that we're never over, never over. I know just as well as you. You need a closure, need me closer.
All right, so I prefer the saturation here. Y'all definitely let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of these 3 saturators and which one you thought sounded best for this vocal. And if you preferred the high shelf EQ instead of the saturation, let me know that as well. All right, so those are 3 multiband saturation plugins I like to use to add air and presence to vocals. Again, we've got the IK Multimedia Quad Saturator. And again, this is newly added in T-Rack 6. Waves Vitamin and Platoon Studio Swiss Saturator. Again, I'll have a link in the description for all of these if y'all want to check them out, learn more about them, or pick them up. I have a link as well to the new Sonable Learn Bundle, which is really nice, as well as Smart DS2. And the hardware as well, I have a link in there for the Vanguard V13 as well. There'll be a product link in the video for the Empirical Labs Mikey as well. But definitely comment and let me know what do y'all think about these 3 saturators that I showed. Also, let me know if you're using any multiband saturation and which ones you're using. All right, if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate a thumbs up. And if y'all want to continue to see content from me, then y'all know what to do.